So, hi everyone, it's Vlad here. So, today I will teach you about the walls. Some basic stuff mostly. I'm starting YouTube channel and other stuff, so I would be placing some new videos right here. And today we're going to talk about the walls. I would be working in the architectural template mostly. And if you're architect, you would mostly work in the architectural, but you can choose the other one. It wouldn't be really a problem at all. But I'm working in architectural because it's easier for me. So when we start the project, we are having like nothing else with architectural, and if we choose wall, we have three different types of walls. Mostly architectural, mostly you would use architectural, but if you're a structural engineer, so you would work with a structural. But the main difference is that structural walls just straight, and if you work with architectural walls, you can make them different forms as you wish. Mostly you just need to reselect it, and it will be easier for you. And you would have the capability to create a wall by face, but mostly you wouldn't do it right now. You would mostly work with that when you manage to understand the masses in the REVIT. If you understand the masses, you could create multiple different walls, parametric ones, like on this example that you're showing. You create a different mass slope, so you could create a wall from it, but that would be in the future. For now, we are having these walls. With this instrument, we would create another one, and the main difference, the main thing that you need to understand mostly for now, these parameters right here, mostly these ones. So talk about this one. With this one, you can change the dependence of the wall. So if you look a bit on the wall, you could see it's started from it is made from the center. So you could change that. For example, if you choose exterior side, the wall line would be from the exterior side, and the same with the interior, and that's the main difference. And actually you can make the core interior and exterior, but mostly you wouldn't do that, maybe in some rare cases. Yes, that's about the location one. The base constraint and top constraint, mostly the same thing, but for the other things. With the base constraint, you manage the base of the wall. Sometimes you just lower a little bit lower than the level, but you always mostly always need to manage this base constraint, because it would really would change the model itself. Because mostly, why would you work in the REVIT? That's because you can do the smart models. In that case, you could make that if you want the smart model itself, you need to connect it by the levels. Mostly, we will talk about it in the future how it works. But for now, just believe me. And the same with the top constraint. Mostly, it would look like this. You would change it to the one, and that's all mostly. But if we look in the 3D with this wall, maybe make it like this. So previously, if we make it without unconnected, make the other one, so we would see that the wall itself is created like to the 8000 millimeters. That is bad for us because it's too much. Mostly, maybe in some rare cases you could work with it, but that wouldn't be working for us. and in that case we connect it to the first level. And depending on the level, mostly if we look up here, we would see that there is a lot of the levels itself. We'll delete all these walls, and we would see that in a project you have two levels created already in the template. The consistency between the levels, if you change this one, you mostly change the dependencies that you created in the walls. So if, for example, we are make it the top constraint by one level, and we would change that one level, the wall itself would change like this. So you need to understand that. Mostly just easier to work afterwards. And if we select all these walls and make it to the first level, they are automatically would be connected. And with the walls you can make changes with the offsets. Really useful thing, and you need to consider to use it mostly. For example, minus 150, and we would have something like that. For now not used, but in next projects we will be using that a lot. That is about the wall parameters that we are mostly using, and there is a room bounding. For other, it just mostly the information about the wall and etc. Room bounding. We are mostly we would talk about the rooms itself in the next lessons, because for now there is no rooms. But if we work with room right now and create something like this with locked space, we would see that if we place the room in there like this, it would be outlined by the wall or blocked by the wall if we look like this. But if we unselect this button, then we would see that room is broken itself. You need to understand it mostly, because in many cases it would make problems to you in your project. So you need to understand that, and mostly in most of the times you would definitely use the room bounding, but in some cases you wouldn't. So just need to understand it and use it in the future. So that's about it, about the parameters that is in here, that is instances. There is two types of parameters, instances and type ones. So need to consider mostly you can change in the type ones the structure of the wall. Mostly you could change if you will look up right here. So there is a lot of layers in this wall, in this particular wall. There is exterior side and interior side. Mostly you would work with the structural one, that is between the core boundary. You need to work with the core one, and the other one is just finishes, thermal areas, and so on. Mostly you would use this one, and for now we just make it disappear and create like 250. And you need to consider that now we are modifying this particular wall, but in most cases you wouldn't do that, because if in big projects you could crack the project and it wouldn't work properly. So if you need to create a new wall, you need to edit type and then duplicate, so you wouldn't crash other walls, and so the project would be in working condition mostly. And that's mostly that you would need to know about the structure. There is a little bit with the graphic, but it wouldn't matter now. And with the walls we are also having these parameters. If we click on the wall, mostly 3 different tools. With this one if we go to this 3D, mostly working with this 3D, we have this wall. We can edit profile. Mostly if we use it, we would have like rectangle, like a real wall, but we can change it. So we could have like something like this and this, and we just use this button to correct it a little bit, so it would be one shape, one connected shape, and like this, and we select it. Mostly you could reset it immediately, but in some cases you can work with that if you would need, depend on the project mostly, but you can do that. And there is wall opening. Wall opening is just a wall opening, nothing really special. I would recommend not to use it. In my experience, I wouldn't use it a lot. I would just use one of these, like this one. Maybe the same, or create a family for that. Because in this case you wouldn't really manage it properly, but you can use it depending on your standards of your project. And what we have mostly in the wall is attached to base and detach. For that we will create a few floors, just for example, so I could show you what we are working with. For example, like this one, and then on 3D we would create another one like this. So if we do that, you would see that the wall itself, like, in a little bit distracting each other. So in that case you need to select all the walls, and you can attach them to the top or the bottom. If we select this bottom, you can change top or the bottom, depending on your need mostly, and in that case you can detach it from the specific thing. And that's all. That's most of it, of what you would need to know about the walls. For now, a little bit, there is a lot of information in here, but it is what you would need to know a little. So then you can work with it later, and I suppose that's all. In the next one we would be talking about the doors, windows, and I suppose I would see you next time.